Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're jumping right into the thick of it with WWE RAW, the June 23rd show, live from Columbus, Ohio. And wow, it wasn't just your average Monday night, was it? Felt like a lot happened, unexpected turns, some defining moments, and definitely some big moves setting up Night of Champions. So our mission for you, the listener, is basically to cut through the noise. We want to give you the key insights, what really mattered, the matches, those announcements, the rivalries heating up. We'll cover the King and Queen of the Ring updates, some pretty shocking injury news, actually, that really changes the game for the pay-per-view. And yeah, that legendary challenge that has everyone talking. Okay, let's get into it. So the show kicked off with Seth freaking Rollins. It really felt like he was setting a specific tone right from the start. What was the vibe with that opening promo, and who was out there with him?
Yeah, it was classic Rollins, but maybe more intense. He came out flanked by Paul Heyman, Braun Breaker, and Bronson Reed. That lineup alone, screams power moves.
Right.
It sends a clear message. Rollins isn't just doing his own thing anymore. He's like building something. An empire, you could say. He definitely means business.
And he didn't hold back on the crowd either. He really laid into them, which felt pretty calculated. What was his main beef, and what was this grand statement he was making?
Oh, totally calculated. His main criticism was aimed at the crowd's indecision. He pointed out how they chant for CM Punk 1 minute, the OTC the next, then the dog, even his own music. Basically saying they're all over the place, rudderless.
Okay.
And his big proclamation.
Yeah.
That he is the past, present, and future. Positioning himself as, and this is the key phrase, the inevitable top guy.
Inevitable. That's strong.
Exactly. And what's really significant here, I think, is it's not just trash talk. It feels like Rollins cementing his character as this, foundational pillar of the whole company. By calling himself inevitable, he's not really asking for approval. He's stating it as fact, forcing everyone, the audience, the other wrestlers, to kind of deal with his perceived dominance. It sets up some really interesting potential conflicts down the line.
Definitely. Okay, so from those powerful words, let's shift to the ring. The King and Queen of the Ring semifinals. First up, Braun Breaker. How did he fare?
Oh, Breaker just absolutely steamrolled Penta. Finished him with a huge spear. Dominant is the word.
Yeah, sounds like it.
And what was interesting was Rollins immediately getting in Penta's face afterwards, warning him to stay out of his way. It just reinforces that alliance. Rollins pulling the strings, Breaker as the muscle. It's clear Breaker is a big part of whatever Rollins is planning.
Gotcha. So, Queen of the Ring side. Who punched their ticket to the final?
That was Jade Cargill. She got the win over Roxanne Perez. Really impressive performance in what looked like a tough semifinal match.
Okay, Jade Cargill moves on.
Yep, and that sets up a really highly anticipated final. Jade versus Asuka at Night of Champions for the crown. Cargill's just got so much momentum right now.
Definitely feels that way. And on the men's side, the King of the Ring final spot. Who grabbed that one?
That went to Cody Rhodes. He managed to edge out Jey Uso in what sounded like a really physical, heated semifinal.
Cody and Jey, yeah, there's history there.
For sure. And Cody winning books his spot in that huge final against Randy Orton in Riyadh.
Okay, so connecting the dots then. The King and Queen of the Ring finals are locked. They're official for Night of Champions. How do these matchups, Cody versus Orton and Asuka versus Jade, start to shape the story of that whole event?
Oh, they're absolutely central. You've got Cody Rhodes still trying to cement his place, at the very top. And he's facing Randy Orton, a legend, who's looking maybe to recapture some of that King of the Ring glory himself. That's just a fascinating clash.
Yeah, clash of eras, almost.
Exactly. Eras, ambitions, everything. And then with Asuka versus Jade Cargill, that's like pure power against maybe precision and experience. Could be a passing of the torch moment, potentially. Or maybe Asuka just proves she's still absolutely elite.
Right.
So these finals, they aren't just about winning a title or a crown. They're about setting the tone, establishing who's got the momentum heading into the summer. It's big.
Okay, moving on. Raw also had a women's intercontinental title match. Becky Lynch defending against Bayley. What went down there?
Right. Becky Lynch, the champ, against Bayley. The match itself was good, intense, like you'd expect, but the ending was controversial. Myra Valkyria ran in and attacked Lynch after the match had technically ended, causing a DQ.
Ah, okay, so Becky retains.
Becky retains, yeah, but it definitely throws a wrench into things for her. It shows Valkyria is far from done with her. Adds a whole new layer to that title scene beyond just Bayley. Things are getting complicated for Becky.
Now here's where the night really took some, unexpected turns. We got some major injury news. Stuff that's definitely going to shake up Night of Champions. What did we find out?
Yeah, this was pretty big. First, the news about Liv Morgan.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, she's going to be out for several months. It's that shoulder injury she sustained recently.
Oh, wow. Several months. That's a huge blow.
Massive blow to the women's division, yeah.
Yeah.
And then another significant piece of news, Dominic Mysterio's Intercontinental title match against AJ Styles at Night of Champions. It's off. Postponed.
Why? What happened?
Dominic's injured too. Didn't get the specifics on the injury, but he's unable to compete.
Man. So Liv out, Dominic out. How does this force WWE to, like, pivot heading into Night of Champions? And does this open doors for other people, maybe?
Oh, it completely reshapes things. Liv's absence, I mean, she was a top contender, such a dynamic presence, that leaves a big void.
Yeah.
So other women have to step up now, could lead to new challengers emerging, maybe new rivalries forming that we didn't expect.
Okay. And for the IC title?
With Dominic out and that match postponed, the whole Intercontinental title picture is suddenly up in the air. What do? Maybe a tournament, a multi-person match to find a new challenger, or even an interim champ.
Could be anything, really.
Exactly. It could mean a dark horse, someone unexpected gets a massive opportunity they wouldn't have had otherwise. It forces creative to scramble, adapt on the fly.
Yeah.
And honestly, sometimes that leads to the most exciting, unpredictable stuff for us watching.
That's true. Okay, switching gears again, one segment that really grabbed my attention. Goldberg and Gunther. What is going on there? What did Goldberg actually say?
Yeah, this was wild. The sheer audacity, maybe. Goldberg did a sit-down interview with Michael Cole, and he just flat out stated that his retirement match will be against Gunther.
Just like that?
Just like that. And specifically, he wants it at Saturday night's main event.
Wow.
And as if that wasn't enough, he threw in that if he wins, he might just reclaim the World Heavyweight title.
Whoa. Okay. That is a bold statement.
Extremely bold. From a legend, sure, but still.
So how did Gunther react? I mean, he's been this unstoppable force. How does he respond to being called out by Goldberg?
Gunther's response backstage was, well, pretty much what you'd expect from Gunther. Dismissive, almost contemptuous. Called Goldberg a 58-year-old one-trick pony.
Ouch.
Yeah. And issued this sort of chilling, vague promise about what he'd do. Didn't specify, which makes it almost worse. But look, this isn't just, legend versus current champ. It's a huge creative challenge for WWE.
How so?
Well, how do you book this? A legend's potential final match where he's talking about winning the title against your dominant, nigh unbeatable champion. You risk diminishing one or the other no matter the outcome. It's this high-stakes gamble, right? Nostalgia versus present-day dominance. And it makes you wonder, can Goldberg's explosive short-burst style actually hang with Gunther's brutal, methodical approach these days? It's fascinating.
It really is. Okay, beyond those huge names, what other rivalries were heating up? Did we see other feuds getting more intense on Raw?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Several feuds escalated quite a bit. First, Asuka. Right after Jade Cargill won her semifinal, Asuka was right there confronting her. It wasn't just a respectful nod. It was a proper stare down, building real heat for their final.
Good. Add some spice.
Exactly. Then you had Rhea Ripley. Never one to shy away, right? She demanded a street fight against Raquel Rodriguez at Night of Champions.
And she got it.
Yeah. So that just cranks up the brutality level for their feud, which was already pretty physical.
Okay, street fight, noted. Yeah. Anyone else?
And then maybe the most direct escalation. Sami Zayn straight up slapped Karrion Kross backstage.
Whoa, really?
Yep, and that immediately led to their match being made official for Night of Champions. So that adds a really personal, visceral edge to their conflict now. It's not just theoretical anymore.
Yeah, that slap makes it personal. These touches, the stipulations, like the street fight, they definitely raise the stakes, don't they? Turns a regular match into something more.
Absolutely. That's what makes WWE storytelling work when it clicks, right? You add that personal investment, those unique rules, and it stops being just a wrestling match. It becomes about pride or revenge or proving something. That's exactly the kind of energy you want heading into a big show like Night of Champions.
Totally agree. So let's try and wrap this up. We've covered a lot. Rollins staking his claim. The King and Queen finals are set. These major injury curveballs. Goldberg calling out Gunther. What's the big picture here? What's the main story Raw seems to be telling us as we head towards Night of Champions?
I think the central narrative is really one of massive upheaval, but also new opportunities. You've got the tournament finals locked, setting up two huge matches that will crown new royalty, so to speak. You have Rollins consolidating power, basically gearing anyone to stop him. But then these injuries, while obviously bad luck for Liv and Dominic, they force changes. They shake things up, and that could genuinely lead to breakout moments for other stars we weren't expecting. And the Goldberg-Gunther thing, that's just a fascinating wild card hanging over everything. A true clash of eras that could have ripple effects no matter how it plays out.
Yep.
So yeah, Raw basically set the stage for a Night of Champions where the old paths are kind of breaking down and new ones are being quickly paved. It feels very dynamic right now.
That leads to a final thought, maybe. With all these injuries we talked about, Liv, Dominic, and others we've seen recently, what does this really tell us about the intense physical demands on these WWE superstars today? And, how might this constant risk, this grind, impact not just WWE's long-term planning, but the actual careers and long-term health of the athletes themselves? It really makes you think about the invisible toll, doesn't it? The price of performing at that level week after week. Something to consider. Anyway, thanks for diving deep with us on this packed episode of Raw. We hope you feel a bit more clued in and ready for whatever WWE throws at us next.